We interrupt your usual bookish broadcasting to bring you this month's movie moment. This month's movie moment is going to be my top 5 Marvel movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I grew up as a movie buff. Movies were always big in my family, and so I didn't really have the background to these movies that the comic book world has. Now, I have dabbled a bit in some of the comic book worlds, read some of the story arcs that are going on right now, but I find as much as I enjoy the story arcs from the comic books, I'm actually enjoying the Marvel Cinematic Universe better, just because I'm a movie person. That is who I am, that's how I grew up, and I didn't really grow up with the comics, so I find the movies are a lot more fun for me. Granted, I do like researching the comic book history to get more of the background behind the characters that I love in the cinematic universe. So without further ado, here are my top 5 with one honorable mention of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Now, my honorable mention is not actually part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is a Marvel movie, and that is Disney's Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 is a comic book, and of course Big Hero 6 did follow the usual Marvel Cinematic Universe format by having your Stan Lee cameo and your after credits scene, which was probably one of my favorite after credits scene because it featured my favorite Big Hero 6 character. But I absolutely loved Big Hero 6. It had such fantastic characters. It had great color work to it as a movie and like the cinematography overall. And it was just a fun ride of a movie. Plus, Baymax. Who wouldn't love that adorable walking marshmallow? He was the cutest Disney character I've seen out of their newer Disney movies, and I absolutely loved Baymax. And Fred is my hero. I adore Fred. He is probably my second favorite character next to Baymax in Big Hero 6. So then coming in at number 5 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Captain America: The First Avenger. I think my favorite part about this was knowing nothing about Captain America before I went into this movie. I didn't know anything about the storyline. He was just always this star-spangled comic book hero that I had seen around in the comic book stores or at chapters in the comic book section, but didn't really know much about him and the fact that he was actually from the 1940s. So it was really interesting to me. I absolutely loved Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull. Hugo Weaving is one of my all-time favorite actors that I would really want to meet someday. I mean, he's in Lord of the Rings, he's in Captain America, he's V for Vendetta, he was in, oh man, I can't even remember everything he's been in. The Matrix, like he is the ultimate nerdy actor that I want to meet someday, and I just loved him as the Red Skull because he did it so well. And Haley Atwell has now become one of my favorite actresses. I absolutely loved her. And Chris Evans brought Captain America's character to life in a way that none of us can even imagine anyone else playing Captain America. It was a fun ride, a great story, and had a lot of heart and emotion in it as well that I really enjoyed. And again, I think one of my favorite parts of being in this movie is the historical setting and the timeline, because I really like that World War II historical setting for movies. Also, fun fact, before he was big in The Hobbit, Richard Armitage also plays a small character in the Captain America First Avenger, which I didn't know about until after The Hobbit came out. And movie number 4 would be the Iron Man movie, the first one. I hadn't seen or heard of anything about Iron Man until I saw the movie. In fact, a lot of these characters I'd never heard of until the MCU came out. And I really enjoyed the superhero movie. It was awesome. It was just everything you wanted. It had a strong character, a great origin story, and just great acting done in this. It was hard-hitting, a kick butt, and something that we hadn't seen done in film very well, so it was really fascinating to see the superhero genre kind of take off with the production of Iron Man. I just love how Robert Downey Jr. brings Tony Stark and Iron Man to life. I think even Stan Lee said in an interview himself that Robert Downey Jr. is made to be Tony Stark, and it just fits Tony so well that you can't really imagine Iron Man being played by anybody else than Robert Downey Jr. Coming in at number 3, we have Thor: The Dark World. I really liked the first Thor movie, but I loved Thor: The Dark World so much more. The story just kind of took off, and you're kind of following the Infinity Stone storyline with these ones, and they kind of connecting in the Thor movie franchise. So I really liked seeing that story arc grow within the Thor movies. And of course, Christopher Eccleston, my favorite Doctor, was playing the villain, and his name is slipping my memory at the moment, but I absolutely loved Christopher Eccleston's character and how he was portrayed. With Thor: The Dark World, I really enjoyed the background, the storyline, the fighting scenes, the action, and the comedy aspect that was kind of weaved in throughout the characters. Even when Thor is trying to get to Greenwich, I believe it was, I can't remember where the final fight was, but when he was trying to get there, he takes the subway, and it was just really funny watching Thor get on the subway, hanging up his hammer. So when you had a fantastic villain, a fantastic hero, and a great side character cast that just kept you laughing, intrigued, and connected to the storyline, and it was just a great action-packed movie overall, and I really liked it. It definitely surpassed the first Thor movie for me. Coming in at number 2 was actually a surprise for me. When I first saw the trailer and the music that was playing during the trailer, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is a superhero movie? And sure enough, I ended up falling in love with the Guardians of the Galaxy. What made me fall in love with Guardians of the Galaxy was the casting for Guardians of the Galaxy. They had a fantastic cast for this great ensemble of characters. I just love the group of characters and how they're just honestly a bunch of losers until they start working together and trying to save the galaxy. And again, it followed the story arc of the Infinity Stones, and I really like seeing how that is going to play out in the rest of the MCU. So I really like seeing the growth of the Infinity Stone storyline, and of course being introduced to the zany cast of characters. I am really looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I think another reason why I love Guardians of the Galaxy was, at first I was skeptical, but the soundtrack for this movie is just perfection, and how it fit the characters and how it fit the storyline. It was almost like it didn't fit, but it made it so much better. It's so hard to explain, but the soundtrack for this movie is incredible. And coming in at number 1 is the movie that got me addicted to the MCU, and that would be the first Avengers movie. I didn't really even have any interest in the Avengers movie. We had a bunch of friends out of province come visit us, and my sister and our friends went out and saw the MCU. I hadn't seen Captain America, I hadn't seen Thor, I hadn't seen Iron Man 2 or the Hulk. The only movie I had seen was Iron Man, and so when Avengers came out, I had no care about what was going to happen. And then I went and saw it, and as soon as the credits rolled, I wanted it to play again. That was phenomenal. It was the casting, just this awesome cast of characters made you fall in love with this movie, and putting them finally all together just made it that much cooler. Tom Hiddleston plays a fantastic Loki and just made you fall in love with the villain, love to hate the villain, and just wanted more of the villain. So I really enjoyed Tom Hiddleston's Loki and just his vengeful spite on the planet that Thor loves. So after watching the Avengers movie, falling head over heels in love with these Avenger movies, I instantly went and bought Captain America and Thor and the Hulk to catch up on what had happened in the MCU. Now, of course, this is an exhausted list. These are more than the 5 that are mentioned here, but these are the ones that I have enjoyed the most, and the Avengers is still going to be my favorite out of all of them, because Agent Coulson is my hero. And that is all I have for you guys today for this monthly movie moment. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!